Good morning, y'all. It is currently 9:27 a.m., February 26th, 2025. And I'd like to tell y'all a little story about the dream that I just woke up from. I went to bed around, let's say, 2-ish in the morning last night. Something like that. It was around 1:40, but I probably fell asleep after 2 o'clock. And I woke up from this dream at 8, between 8 and 8:30, somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact time. And I had another lucid dream. This was a dialed. I did not consciously wake up throughout the night like I have been lately. Thank goodness for that. I mean, technically I kind of did, because I would have kept sleeping if I wouldn't have gone lucid. Because you'll see at the end of, well, I'll put it in the title, whatever. Being lucid, I was doing something stupid, and it woke me up. So technically, that was like a mid-awakening or whatever, but I'm not going back to sleep, so. The first thing that I remember, I am at work, and I'm running what we call a Dana press. It doesn't matter. It's a press that you stand at. And to my right is a friend that I used to work with. Well, I guess it's to my left, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I wrote down to my right, but when I'm facing the press, it's to my left. But I'm like standing, facing away from my press, so it's to my right. Is somebody that I used to go to school with. Shout out to Dustin, if you're watching this. You're probably not, but it'd be funny if you are. Just like Teddy. Shout out to Teddy, but you're probably not watching this. Yeah, Dustin is there. I do not work with Dustin, so that's the first dream sign. I should have gone lucid right there. And to his right, okay, I need to preface this. There's this girl that I work with. I don't work with her. She works there. I'm not gonna make it weird, but she's really hot. And yeah, like, I wouldn't say I have a crush on her. It's more lust than love, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't talk to her. I haven't talked to her. Probably once. But she's really hot. And she works upstairs. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not trying to get myself fired. I doubt anybody from my job is going to watch this. But I'm not trying to get myself fired. Okay? But she works upstairs. So that's the first weird thing. She should not be running a press. So I'm standing at my press. Dustin's to my left, to my right, because I'm facing away from the press. He's running his press. And then to his, like, on the other side of him, I'm just going to say she. I'm not going to say her name. Okay? I'm not going to say her name. I'm not trying to dox people, okay? I know nobody watches these videos, but I'm not going to say her name. She shows up, and yeah, she works upstairs, and I am conscious enough of the fact that it's weird that she's running a press. Like, the thought crosses my mind. And she's like wearing her sleeves and her gloves and everything. I think she is relieving somebody on break. So I'm thinking about that's weird. And then okay. Oh yeah, when she got to her press, somebody asked if they could help her run the press, or like run the press for her or something. And she's like, "No, I'll do it. I've got to get practice." She said something like that. And then the next thing that I remember, I'm sitting down on my platform. Now, the Dana platforms, it's literally like, from me to you, how much space you have. Probably even less. You're like standing there. You do your thing at your press, and then you turn around and you set up the tray behind you. Like, there is not any space. It's not a rubber press. If you know, you know. I'm not trying to explain the ins and outs of my factory, but I'm trying to be as vague as I can without doxing myself, but also get the point of the dream across. Okay? I've already accidentally doxed myself too many times on this channel. I'm trying to be conscious about that. For fuck's sake. Yeah, there is not really that much room at a normal Dana press. So it's kind of weird that all of a sudden I'm on a much bigger platform and I'm sitting down on my platform. And to my right, so I'm facing my press, and to my right, this woman is also sitting down next to me. So her press is like over to the left, and for some reason she's over here. And I assume that we were talking about something. I don't really remember us talking. But she asks me to reach over and grab, I think it was her cup. It's like up and to my left somewhere. So as I'm like reaching for it, there must be something else that she wanted, because she like reaches past me with her right arm. So I'm reaching for her cup. She reaches past me with her right arm facing me, trying to grab something. And as she's reaching, her breast grazes my face. Let's say that. It like presses against my face, and I'm like, oh, whoa. And she grabs her thing, and then she leaves the platform and she goes over to her press. And I'm just kind of like stunned for a second. I'm like, whoa. And so I grab her. I wrote down, this excited me. It did. Hey, you know what happens on this freaking channel when I go lucid, okay? It's not that bad. It could be a lot worse, okay? This could have been a lot worse. It could have been a much shorter dream, let's say that. So, she goes back to her press, and I grab her cup, and then I like walk it over and set it down on her table. Dustin witnessed what happened, and I go back to my press, and we're just kind of looking at each other. And after like a couple like seconds or whatever of us just looking at each other, I tell him, excuse me if I'm blushing, because I could feel, excuse me, I could feel myself blushing. So then I start telling him, because like we're just chilling now, I start telling him about the tattoo that I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get a tattoo on my arm. We'll see how long it takes. You'll see it. I'll show it. Don't worry, I'll show you, okay? When I get it. This is a real life thing. I'm thinking about real life stuff right now in this dream. I'm talking about this tattoo that I'm gonna get, and I like show him the dimensions. I'm like, it's gonna be on my forearm, it's gonna go across, and it's gonna be that big. And he's like, oh yeah, that's cool. So this whole time, I'm thinking about what just happened with this woman. And this woman. And I don't remember specifically if the thought crossed my mind, am I dreaming? But I'm thinking about how fucking crazy this is, and it doesn't make any sense. So I plug my nose and I breathe in and out. And I'm like, wait a second. I do it a couple times. First I'm like breathing in and I get like little breaths in. And then I breathe out and I'm like, holy shit, I'm fucking lucid. And it surprised me and caught me off guard. And I was very happy with the fact that something strange happened. And I thought to do a reality check and became lucid. That's probably the first time. No, that's not the first time. But it's like, that doesn't happen to me like that very often. Like, I would have just totally gone on with my life in this dream normally. And this might be the first time that the thought crossed my mind to do a reality check before I became lucid. Normally I become lucid and I confirm it by doing a reality check. This is the first time that something weird happened, and it was almost instinct to do a reality check, and that's what made me become lucid. So that was really exciting. And then I start just walking around. I don't really do a whole lot in this dream, which, I'm not mad at it because I'm still getting practice for becoming lucid. I'm not trying to like go crazy and become a god, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't do any of my dream goals. I literally just walked around. I barely even talked to anybody. So I don't really remember a whole lot of the specifics of when I was walking around. I just know that I spent a few minutes walking around the factory. And the next specific thing that I remember is I'm trying to go outside because I'm like getting bored of walking around my factory. Like, I don't remember if there were any differences. I assume there was a lot of differences, but I wasn't really paying super close attention to them. And another thing that I regret is I didn't go through my senses. I want to get in the habit. I'm telling you now to affirm the intention in my brain. Whenever I become lucid, I want the first thing I do to be to cycle through my senses. Look around me, hyperfixate on the details of my environment. If it's a place from my real life, I want to see the differences because I know that there's going to be differences and I want to pay attention to the differences. I want to see what I can smell. I want to feel the ground, feel the walls, feel whatever's around me, feel the textures, and I want to like lick something to activate my taste. I want to get in the habit of doing that whenever I'm become lucid, period. If I'm lucid, I want to go through my senses. I didn't do that. I just kind of like just started walking around and that's it. And I want to try to get in the habit of thinking about my dream goals because I've got like a list of dream goals. I was thinking I know I'm kind of going on a tangent, but for my 10 subscriber video, if somebody watching this, where's the camera? Right there. If somebody is watching this and hasn't subscribed, if you subscribe and I get 10 subscribers, I was thinking about doing a 10 subscriber special and like writing down my list of my dream goals and really thinking about some of the dream goals that I haven't written down yet and just making a video about that, talking about that. So I don't ask for subscribers much, but it came up in conversation. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I didn't do that. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. What's the word? There's a word for it. But I digress. Yeah, I wanted to leave because I fucking work in that factory enough. I do not need it in my dreams, okay? So I'm like sick of being at this factory. So we have this big sliding door. It's like a fucking big ass garage door that goes to the outside pad. I've talked about this in an earlier dream where I went lucid. So as I'm opening this door, I'm thinking to myself, the other side of this door is going to be somewhere different. That's something that I do at work sometimes as like a reality check. Sometimes I'll be walking around and I'll think about the clothes that I'm wearing and I'll look up to where my clothes are outside of my field of view and I will try to imagine myself wearing something different. And I will like look down and try to change what I'm wearing just throughout the day. Like I'm awake, like that sounds like some schizophrenic shit, but I feel like if I did that in a dream, it would work. Like I would look down, see what I'm wearing in a dream. I would look up and I'd be like, okay, when I look down, I'm going to be wearing blue. And I look down and I feel like it would be blue. I haven't tested it out in a dream yet, but I'm trying to like plant the seeds. But something that's kind of like that is whenever I open a door at work or just in life in general, mostly at work because I'm mostly thinking about it at work, I will think to myself, when I open this door, I try to imagine what's going to be on the other side. And it's like, obviously I'm trying to change it, not what it is actually behind the door. And I'm hoping that in a dream, that would like help me change my environment. So I try to do that and it does. Long story short, it doesn't work. I open the door, and it just leads me to outside. I had something specific in mind for a place for it to take me, but I don't remember now where it was. So I go outside, and I go to the road, and I just start fucking walking down that road because I'm trying to find somewhere else to go. And, like, it starts out as an actual road, but I think very quickly in the dream, it turns into, like, a trail because there's just people walking down the road. It's not cars driving. So I'm walking down the road trying to find somewhere else to be because I didn't want to be at the factory anymore. And eventually the thought crosses my mind to run, and I'm curious how fast I can run. So I start running, and I try to, like, use my mind, dream control, to run faster. And I'm just, like, booking it. And then I get kind of bored of that. And I also vaguely remember having a couple interactions with people, or maybe I witnessed an interaction between two people. And one of them was, like, an old lady. Like, I don't know if this is just, like, false memories or whatever. I don't know if this actually happened or not, but it's, like, an idea that I got in my head that I can't get out of my head. It was something to do with an old lady and someone I work with. I call him Sunburn. I'm just going to call him Sunburn. And, yeah, that was that. Eventually I turn back around because I'm not making it anywhere. I'm literally just walking down the trail, and nowhere is popping up for me to, like, interact with. I could have, like, this is another thing that I regret doing. Like, I know that I'm saying, like, it's practice. Like, right now the goal is just to become lucid. Once I get to the point where I start becoming lucid more reliably, then I can start working on my dream goals. But I wish that I would have talked to people more, because I came across several dream characters that I just didn't talk to. So I turn back around and I make it back to the factory because I'm like, well, fuck. And once I make it back to the factory, the thought crosses my mind to find that woman again. I should have just come up with a fake name. Calling her the woman sounds really weird. But, yeah, the thought crosses my mind to find her, and it's not what you think. I'm telling you, it's not what you think. Maybe it was, but it's not what you think. I go upstairs because she works in the office. I go upstairs, and the office looks different than it does in real life. It's like one big room, and it's square shaped with just, like, desks around. And she is there. She's up at one of the, like, I'm walking up at the bottom of the square. She's at, like, the far end by the corner, and then there's, like, another corner and another corner and another, and it's a square. I enter this way. She's here, and she's at a desk, and she's, like, super busy with paperwork, like, busy, like, oh, I can't talk to anybody, busy. And, which is, like, weird because in real life, she has her own office. In real life, the office is not just, like, 4 hallways connected. It's, like, rooms, but whatever. And, so I ask why she's so busy, and some other woman answers that she's in phase 3, so she's making up for work. Phase 3 is when you miss so much work that if you miss more work, you're fired. So as I'm waiting for her to finish up, I make a lap around the room just looking at stuff. I'm just walking around. Again, I'm not really talking to anybody. And as I'm waiting, my older brother comes upstairs. You may know from several videos, I've probably talked about it. We both work at the same place. He comes upstairs to tell me that she is either busy or that she is in phase 3. I can't remember which, but, like, I'm there waiting for her to be not busy, and he just suddenly walks up to tell me that she's busy. And once he realizes that I already know, then he leaves. And I finally make it back around to the bottom, and I'm like getting so bored that I'm trying to think of something to do. So I think, oh, let's practice hovering while inside. That's a good idea. Like, I've flown in dreams before, but I've never been super good at it to where I could like really control it. So I'm trying to hover, and I like jump and try to like stay in place, and that doesn't work. And then I'm like straining myself trying to hover, and I'm like trying so hard that I end up waking up from it. And that's that. Sorry that took me so long to explain. That was like 2 pages. There's no reason that freaking dream should have taken that long to explain. But I'm a rambling man. I don't think there's really anything else to say. So yeah, last video I said that was my longest video. Now this actually is my longest video. Good night and sweet dreams.